magical nonsense be something you wish?
For a whole lot more videos like this one, check out our channel, give us a like, and subscribe.
Alright, Scott, so we got our hands on kind of a classic, actually, from the PS2 days, if I'm correct. I had never actually played this SpongeBob game growing up, so getting my hands on it now, man, it kind of hits that nostalgia as far as the show goes and the humor.
Yeah, this is SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Remaster, and I played the original a little bit on GameCube, and I gotta say this one looks a lot more beautiful, and I was super excited to see something like SpongeBob from my childhood coming back around. What were your first impressions jumping into this game for the first time?
My first impressions, man, were that it actually hit all the right notes as far as like the whole comic aspect of it. I thought the humor, the voice acting, everything was just like the show. I did find sometimes there were kind of a little bit of droughts where I would be doing a lot more of the puzzling and the platforming side without so much of the talking, which I kind of thought was maybe a little bit of a miss because I actually really enjoyed the comedy side of it.
Yeah, it was really good, and I believe we have most of the same voice actors, but except for a few notable ones, like Mr. Krabs' is a different voice. That one stuck out to me, but for the most part, they stay really true to the universe of SpongeBob, and a lot of these locations that you're going through are really straight ripped out of the show. The deep, dark, or rock bottom they call it, the Bikini Bottom, like rooftops and everything. It was very, very interesting to see this rendered in HD graphics all over again.
Yeah, man, and you actually get to play as 3 different characters. You get to play as Patrick, SpongeBob, and then you get to play as Sandy, and they each have kind of their different roles. Some of them, sometimes when you enter an area, you have to, use SpongeBob's mechanics, or you have to use Patrick's, strength.
A lot of the time I find it's interesting because you'll go through a level as SpongeBob and then start to unlock another alternative path for Sandy later on, and I think that's a really cool way of reusing the levels because there's a lot of different collectibles, and that's kind of the name of the game. Similar to the way Super Mario 64 works, where you're just collecting stars to gain entry to the next area. Very similar in that fashion. And
you're obtaining the golden spatulas.
Yes, the golden spatulas. There's 100 in the game, and there's also side objects like Patrick's sweaty socks to collect. Gross, but an interesting way of giving you different side quests to do in the area that you're in. A lot of the times you can get through an area by getting a few of them, but you really want to spend time in that area to collect all of them and move on.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of nice. They actually tell you when you're in the map kind of menu, which is also a bonus. The map is really easy to navigate. You can fast travel kind of at any time once you've unlocked that area. So that it is really nice that, if you didn't collect all the golden spatulas, you can easily just go back to that area at any time.
Yeah, completely reload it, retry that challenge, and whatever it happens to be. There's a lot in this game as far as interacting with the different characters, and the combat, however, is kind of where I think the lowest part of the game is. Although it's interesting to fight different things, the robots get repetitive after a while. There's quite a few different variants of them, but you get really used to the kind of easy ways of defeating them, and it's kind of becomes obvious that it's not super challenging, but it is an interesting trip down memory lane.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of depth, I'd say, to the combat, but the game kind of shines just where the story is, and like the comic relief is really great.
Is the magic wishing word?
It used to be Alakazama Alabala Wiesna Tikitana Fushbar Griddle Bits von Wiederschnauzer, but I kept forgetting it.
Are you sure this'll work?
Sure.
They do a great job of representing SpongeBob, the show, and a lot of the different characters and how they interact. It was a lot of fun, a blast from the past for me. If you're gonna rate this one, what would you give this one out of 10?
Well, man, between collecting all the different funny things and exploring the really, in my opinion, pretty beautiful world that the creators have made, I'm gonna have to give this one a 7.5. It could be better if the combat, like you said, maybe if it was just a little more interesting. Like the robots, there are a few different options, but they're not that exciting.
Yeah, I would agree with that very much. There's several boss fights, but again, they're very easy to wipe through and kind of forgettable at the end of the day. I'm right there with you, 7.5.
Take a great nostalgia trip on your puzzle platformer journey through Bikini Bottom and the world of SpongeBob in this really funny, true to the show game.
That does it! You pushed this squirrel too far! Get ready for a hot fudge twister, Texas style!